Welcome, everybody, to the Give It Podcast, the podcast for blurs, for nerds. If you have a fandom, guys, you are certainly most welcome here. We are your hosts of the most, Tafari TV, Show Guy Joe, and myself, Black Spartan. Fellas, it is the weekend. How are we feeling?
Have people started making brackets yet, or is that today?
Probably people start making brackets, actually, honestly, by March 1st, but yeah.
I feel like I've heard almost nothing about the tournament.
It's weird. It is the start of March Madness for all those that are all the NCAA variety. So brackets, I think, are being accepted until next Friday, if memory serves me right. But yeah, Joe, how about you?
We built this city on rock and
Nope.
Going through that, he is justified with any murder he commits at this point.
That is almost like that is triggering on a whole other level. But apparently, to that group that is now getting dividends off that show, you are very much welcome. But as you can see, guys, we are a little bit more leveled up, which means that we do try to watch a language, but words do fly. At the same time, we do show movie and video game trailers that might be too intense for younger viewers, so viewer discretion is advised. Aside from that, welcome. So, I guess before we get to the trailers, I know there were some movies that did come out. Pretty much, I know, Tafari, you got to see Magazine Dreams and The Day the Earth Blew Up, Looney Tunes movie. So, how do you feel about both those movies, sir?
Yeah, so I got to see all the March movies. So there was Looney Tunes, Magazine Dreams, and Snow White. Thank you, Disney and AGM. One movie is a beloved IP coming back to modern times. Another one is very much a dramatic thrill ride that will have you cringing in your seat for how uncomfortable it makes you for 2 hours. And the other one is also a movie that came out this month.
Damn.
I'll be honest, I didn't know. I couldn't figure out why everybody was mad at the girl playing Snow White. And I'm just like, they threw her a lot of songs, and I think she did an okay job.
Mm-hmm.
Wonder Woman as the evil queen was a decision.
So not believable.
The reason why they don't like her, she has opposing political views to Gal Gadot involving the Gaza-Palestine
That
stuff.
too.
No, that's the predominant reason they don't like her.
Okay, because I'm just like, why
I was gonna say, was her performance that horrible?
She did good to me. I was like, I didn't know who she was, but she hit every note of every extra song they threw in there. It's very much a reimagination versus just a retelling. I did like what they did with the dwarves. It's just the third act is where I'm kind of struggling to hang on because it very much gets talking no jutsu where I'm just like, are we supposed to be throwing her off a cliff or something crazy at this point in the film? I don't fully remember the original, but I played enough Kingdom Hearts to piece it together. And it's just I couldn't find a solid reason why they were mad. They're like, oh, she's not the accurate Snow White, or oh, I heard some of the political stuff, and then I've also seen people like ultra zooming photos of like what arm and back hair follicles, and I'm like, what is the point we're trying to make here?
They were really that into it.
I think she's Latina, and they're trying to say I don't know. It's people are weird. They can't even be angry for the same reason. Looney Tunes is great. If you send a picture of your poster or your ticket stub or at the movies, Ketchup Entertainment what is it? They're sending out free wallpaper. So 4 little nice, cutesy little Looney Tunes, goofy pictures for the background for your phone. Instagram, they're doing that now. I'm glad that film was actually doing well enough to where they might get Coyote versus Acme. Ketchup Entertainment, please stay where you are. Don't leave.
Right.
I know people gave y'all crap for the Crooked Man, but to my understanding, the sentiment was they at least tried, because other than that, nobody was doing anything with Hellboy. Magazine Dreams is just a dramatic thrill ride that very much it is. It's there are many moments in the movie where it's like, because this came out after all the nonsense, even though it was shot before. You feel a way about the character that you do about the actor on multiple occasions, and it's just you're very much like, dude, are we? Is this ever gonna stop getting uncomfortable? Are you ever gonna get a win? How bad is the fallout about to be? And then they cut to Brack like The Sopranos, and it's like, cool, so it's gonna get worse from here, is what you're telling me. And then they finally kind of bring it around, but in a way, there's some stuff I kind of wish they would have explored. This definitely plays like a drama film made by diehard drama students who have a love for the genre. So if you're curious to see him flex his acting chops, or you want to literally get out of your own comfort zone, then I recommend it. Give it a shot. But yeah, 2 out of 3 of those movies are worth a watch. The third one is, I mean, if you're a Disney buff, that's fine. It was just not for me.
Gotcha. I will say this because, again, Ketchup, if you guys do get Wile E. Coyote versus Acme, we will be forever grateful that you got that movie. At the same time, Warner Brothers, I hope this proves a lesson to you guys that there are movies we do want to see, not the ones you force down our throats. We would appreciate that. But yeah, I want to see Magazine Dreams because I know I'm still rooting for Jonathan Majors despite his issues and his most recent issues. But it does seem like an interesting movie, a little darker, but like Tafara said, it is more on the drama side. So if you have seen Looney Tunes The Day the Earth Blew Up, and if you have seen Magazine Dreams, or if you even seen Snow White, willingly or unwillingly, let us know what you think about those things. But moving on to trailers for a second before we get into the other side of Assassin's Creed and Xenoblade Chronicles, which Joe has played and I have played. Onimusha 2, Samurai's Destiny. They actually came out with another trailer, which actually has some surprising news about this game. And also a bonus if you happen to have PS2 data. Yes, I said PS2.
My name is Motohide Esho. I'm the director of Onimusha 2 at Capcom. It's good to be here. I entered Capcom as a programmer, but around the time the PS2 came out in around 2000, I became a game designer. And I got to work on the first Onimusha game. I was then asked if I wanted to try and be a director, and I said yes. So that's how I got to where I am now. So for the remaster of Onimusha 2, I got to take a break from my production duties and work on the game as a director again. One of the defining elements of the Onimusha series is the critical attack. This attack has greatly evolved in Onimusha 2, and you can now chain multiple critical attacks together by pressing the button with the right timing. This new addition to the system feels very satisfying to pull off. On top of that, the magic attacks have also evolved quite a bit. And there are charge attacks as well now. So you have a lot more different attacks at your disposal. We put a lot of thought into this, and it adds a lot of variety and strategy to the combat. In the original game, there were several modes you could only play after completing the story. We actually had a good variety of minigames in Onimusha 2, and this time around, they're all available from the start, so you can play them whenever you want. Everything is unlocked from the beginning, and the game has a surprising amount of content. So there's something fun for everyone in there. The name says it's all really. Hell is an extremely hard difficulty mode. All it takes is one hit from any enemy and you'll die instantly. So it's not for the faint of heart. I haven't been able to complete it myself yet, but some members of the staff have been able to pull it off. So I hope everyone tries it out to see if they can get through it. Onimusha 2 actually has a lot of really good songs in it, and we've collected a whole bunch of them so you can listen to them at your leisure. The digital soundtrack contains over 40 tracks, and you'll be able to listen to all of them as much as you want. So I think that's another thing fans can look forward to. In terms of new special features for this remaster, Onimusha 2 has a variety of locales and an interesting and colorful cast of characters. And they were all designed by Keita Amemiya. He actually made a whole lot of art pieces, and we've included over 100 of them in this game. And of course, they're all in high definition. So you can really get a good look at all of the details by using the zoom function. There's some really interesting details, and I would really encourage fans to check it out to see how much work Keita Amemiya puts into his art and how much imagination he has. The original game was the first time I was in charge of the direction, so it has a special place in my heart, and this remaster brings a lot of tweaks. Apart from the fact that the graphics are now in high definition, we've also included quality of life improvements to make it more fun to play. So if you're new to the series, this is a great time to start, especially since the first game is available too. I'd love everyone to experience the world of Onimusha and explore every nook and cranny. So I look forward to your support.
Now, I just want to point out one thing outside of this, because again, I'm not making fun of anybody. I'm looking forward to Onimusha Warlords and Samurai's Destiny, but it says if you have your original Onimusha Warlords save data, it actually will unlock the Sonosuke outfit. I'm going to throw this out to you. I know good and hell well I don't have my save data anymore. And I'm not making fun of you if you do. If you have your set, if you still have your original, if you still have your original PlayStation 2 save data, how? Number one. Number two, you get an unlocked outfit. But Joe, why are you looking at me, Joe?
Because it doesn't say original. It just says you have to have the Onimusha save data.
Right.
Was the original?
Yeah, they re-released it like 2 years ago.
Okay.
Right, which will put it on PS3 or PS4.
No,
But
you can digital download it now.
the original data?
No.
No, sorry, not the original data. The Warlords data is what I meant.
Yeah, because they re-released Onimusha Warlords as an HD upgrade.
Okay.
Okay, so that means if it's 2 years ago, that puts it on PS4 then. or PS3.
Get it right now on PS5.
Right. But I'm talking about the save data. So in other words, you're saying, okay, maybe I'm misunderstanding, Joe. So what you're saying is you can actually download it on PS5 and still have the save data. Is what you're getting at.
If you save a game and on the new version, then yeah.
Okay, then I stand corrected. Because I was thinking,
wondering where you were going with this earlier this week when you're like, does anybody have their PS2 stuff? It's like,
yeah, because I was like, who else would have it? Because I forgot. I'm gonna be honest with you, I kind of forgot that was I kind of forgot the HD remake was ever uploaded. So I was like, who still has the original data? If you do, cool. I'm not gonna knock you for it. There have been plenty of historians that actually have it, but that's my bad, misunderstood it. But again,
it's actually on sale right now for $10.
Oh, better hurry and grab it for the terrace head. Anyway, but between that and Way of the Sword and Samurai Destiny, what are we thinking, folks? Is it worth picking up? Like Joe said, it's $10 right now on the PlayStation Network. Is it worth picking up?
I mean, Onimusha 1 is for $10.
Oh, I'm sorry. Onimusha 1 is for $10. Sorry.
Onimusha 3 is for pre-order for $30.
That's not bad. I can live with that.
And
but
you get pre-order. You get the orchestra album.
Mm-hmm.
You also get an in-game pack with 3 herbs, 2 medicines, a secret medicine, 2 magic liquids, 1 perfect medicine, 1 talisman, so 1 like Monster Reborn, and 10,000 red souls.
That's not bad. But still, I do want to play it. But your guys' opinions outside of waiting for Way of the Sword, which won't be till next year. But would that make you want to go back and play 1 and then play 2?
Oh yeah.
Tafara, have you ever played Onimusha?
I haven't. I've seen people play it. I just never jumped on the wave, but they at least looks like they fleshed out everything, making everything available from the start, giving everybody the track list, the artwork. So at least if we're gonna repackage a game, you at least give people a little bit more to come back for the HD price point. So seems like it'll be enjoyable, at least for the people who are looking forward to it.
But still, Hell Mode. I've never done Hell Mode. Joe, have you ever did Hell Mode?
I don't have that kind of patience.
Yeah,
Understood.
Like what is it, Grounded and Last of Us, where I think you start the entire chapter or possibly game over if you die. Like, no thank you.
I thought Hell Mode is if you get hit, you die.
Yeah,
I think it's a one hit. I think it's a one hit kill.
That's even worse. No thanks.
If I remember right about Hell Mode, yeah, Hell Mode. It wasn't permadeath, but I think it was if you did get hit, you died. Which again, if you never played Onimusha, think like Ninja Gaiden, but Ninja Gaiden likes to torture you. That's about the best way I can put that. But still, I want to play it. But speaking of things that were played, before we get to the next trailer, which kind of goes along what we were talking about. Joe, you had a chance to play Chronicles and Shadows, is that right? Or just Chronicles?
Chronicles.
All right, so you got a chance to play Xenoblade Chronicles X. What did you think, sir?
I've only gotten through the tutorial level, but already it's a little bit better streamlined. Looks a little bit prettier. Combat is exactly the same as any other Xenoblade game, where basic attack until you get your knock, topple, and whatever. Your three big moves that like has been in the game since Xenoblade 1.
Okay.
So that's still there. I'm nowhere close to the max. That's like a 20-hour thing to go through. I've already met the character that's been redesigned to be mildly older because people on the internet are creepy. So they aged up a character from 13 to, I think, 17 or 18.
Okay.
Internet being weird.
Yeah, can't argue that.
So no, I'm having a good time. I'm sure it's a good game. The rest of the way through, it's just, early impressions are. It's like every other Xenoblade I've played, where everybody is mildly British, despite the fact that we are in the ship of the United States.
Yeah, where everything is British.
Americas.
Nice. Well, okay. Well, before I speak on Shadows, I didn't really get to play a lot of it. Like I told everybody else, as much as I have respect to the ninja, I was playing I was playing as Yusuke the first chance I got. It was fun for about the good hour I got to play. Unfortunately, life be life, and so I didn't actually get back to finish the tutorial. But from what I played of Shadows, it has been great. I think Tafara, you said that it was 1 million players logged on so far.
Yeah, I saw they put a post out on their socials that said thanks for 1 million players. So the game's going strong. I'm seeing good stuff about it.
Okay, cool. And apparently my video decided to die. That's nice. Well, I'll figure that part out later. So, with that being said, guys, we did have a little bit of a video from Assassin's Creed. Joe, I got to give credit for him finding this because, number one, it's funny as hell. And number two, well, just watch. I don't care who you are. That doesn't get you hyped. Nothing does.
My work here is.
I mean, that's funny. But yeah, that was actually the trailer for Assassin's Creed Shadows. Well, not the trailer. They fan the Latam music video. So somebody actually did do fan made, which again, I gotta give them credit for all this. That they actually did that. But yeah, just really quickly about Assassin's Creed Shadows, it's worth playing. I will say this: the story is a little bit different. There's always going to be haters. There's always going to be haters that are not going to like exactly what's going on. But hey, they actually did do a patch update to where shrines can't be destroyed. So good job on Ubisoft's part for that, because somebody was going to try. Although again, if you know anything about the culture on the Far East side, shrines and destruction of shrines is a big ass no. They do not like it. And again, you don't want to tick off your biggest gaming market. So
well, they did it for, sorry to interrupt. They did it for another reason. Is, let's just face it, tourists are assholes, especially American tourists. Let's look at the nice lady in Australia that tried to walk off with a capybara for no reason. They patched that out so that we, the people of this great country, cannot find ways to climb on ancient ancestral grounds and buildings to try and be ninjas while touring Japan.
No, it makes complete and total sense. So I'm definitely not against that. So, but Tafari, while I'm trying to figure out my camera because me and Streamlabs apparently have some beef. What do you think, Cersei? Are you compelled to play Shadows, or?
I might check it out. I'm still trying to get through this old Sucker Punch collection of Sly before I move on to, was it South of Midnight next month?
Yep.
Yeah, I'm seeing all. It's apparently. Has anybody checked on Grums? That dude has been silent ever since this game came out.
You know that he might need to get checked on. I'm not gonna lie. That might be a somebody needs to check on him moment.
I keep seeing everybody say, "Yeah, somebody go check on that man." But then I get it. We haven't done a Desmond game story in like 15 games. Are they still even doing the whole thing where you're a human in the modern day jacking like Matrix into the past, or have they just done away with that altogether?
with Assassin's Creed, it's
like are the
it's
Templars
not.
are the Templars still a factor?
You know the funny part is, Templars aren't even mentioned. Well, I will say this because I know people are a lot further in the game than I am. I know in my part, the Templars aren't mentioned yet. There is a character not to give too much away. It is surrounding another person. It's kind of nameless. I'm pretty sure the name may be revealed as you're playing further along. But I know for where I am in the game, it doesn't say who that character is yet. So you still might have the Animus jumping in and jumping out, and still going with that. But yeah, I will say this though, but it is worth playing. But
Yeah,
it
looks
go
good.
ahead.
It looks good. I just haven't had a chance to get at it or really take a swing at it. But I'm glad it's at least beating all the hatred and anti-hype that it was facing for absolutely nothing.
Oh yeah, it is definitely succeeding in that. But with that being said, we are going to kind of move along with other news. This one I kind of want to bring up just because, well, one, it's John Wick in a way, and number two, it's not John Wick in a way. We did get another trailer for Ballerina, which will be coming out June 6th of this year, so we're not too far off from that. Again, it's John Wick, so the trailer we're about to play is extremely graphic. But if you have not seen anything about Ballerina, here it is.
In Slavic mythology, the Kikimara is a spirit that exists in the shadows. To those with darkness in their hearts, she can be vengeful. But to the innocent, she can be a protector. It's up to you to choose.
Welcome to the Continental. Checking in?
I'm looking for the tribe with this mark.
Needing to know is what got us banished from the Garden of Eden. Are you prepared to be cast out again, Eve?
Yes. I'd like to go hunting.
Will this be a large or small game hunt?
Large.
You have no idea what you just walked into.
Cool.
There's a declaration of war if she's not called off.
Perhaps I can send someone to solve the problem.
The Baba Yaga. Leave the wolf to its prey.
She sent you here to kill me?
Or you can leave.
I'm not leaving.
Your choice.
This is your fate. And you cannot change it.
Rules.
And consequences.
Okay, so that pretty much changed my opinion on this movie. So that was Ballerina, the second trailer. As you can see, guys, will be in theaters June 6th. This kind of messed me up a little bit, Tafari, on this because now I'm like, okay, the first trailer was kind of like, okay, she's meeting John Wick, and the second time, which I guess in this trailer, now it's like, okay, now he's kind of been sent to stop her. So that does kind of change the dynamic a little bit, but does it change your opinion on wanting to see the movie?
No, I think I think they don't want to lose John Wick money, but I think Keanu Reeves also doesn't want to milk it into the ground. So I can very much see we're going to get a good action, next generation, young, old school conversation through combat, come to Jesus moment, possibly, and it'll probably be like 5-10 minutes max. But I'm seeing the same level of excitement as this that I did for the other John Wick films, which is good because it gives them more room to spin off successfully. I think it'll be fine though. I see a lot of people still curious because John Wick is great, but they're not ready to let it go. But you can't keep just forcing the same person to do the same thing for so long.
Yeah. No, I mean, you're right. I was always worried because every John Wick movie, I was always worried, like, how do you up the ante? Because from 1 to 2 to 3 to 4, it's always been okay. You had to up the stunts, and so of course with John Wick, they keep on saying to do another John Wick, and I'm just like, kind of how, but. With Ballerina, it looks like they do things differently. I'm not knocking it. I think it's going to be great. It's going to be kind of off-putting to see Lance Reddick again in the last role. That's still going to be kind of odd to see him that
way. Is this his last job?
Yeah. That was his last scene. That last scene was his last major picture role. Major picture role. So yeah. So yeah, it is going to be a little weird to see that. Joe, are you looking forward to Ballerina, or is this one you're probably going to pass on?
This is the first time I've heard of it, but I mean, I'm down for it. I love the John Wick thing. I know Keanu Reeves says his heart is willing, but his knees are not for John Wick 5. But I wouldn't be surprised if we somehow get a definitive answer if he's dead or alive.
True, you didn't see a body. You did not see a body, so. But no, I'm really curious to see what they're going to go with Ballerina on this. But still, good things. So, Joe, I'm glad you're back, sir, because you got to see DigiCon. Before I play this trailer, was there any news that you wanted to lay out that you saw from there?
So the preview we're about to see is kind of like a small snippet from the upcoming Digimon 2 movie that's happening in that new Kizuna timeline, which is separate from the anime timeline. Because apparently, after a certain age, Digimon can't partner with you anymore, which is weird.
Digimon have age limits now.
Apparently, once you get old enough, they just vanish.
Yeah. Apparently, you go missing. You go missing in the Digi world.
No, the Digimon themselves just vanish from you.
That's different. But yeah. But what Joe's talking about is the Digimon adventure called Digimon Adventure Beyond. If you have not seen the trailer, here it is.
八神太一さん、石田大和さんと。
たける、お話の続き書いてるの？
ああ、そうだよ。今度はこの本を書き始めるきっかけになった頃の話なんだ。
ああ、あの時のことか。
Thanks, Yuri. Please let me handle it from here. What's your name? I'm Yori Hida, a Japanese high schooler. The two guys in the front are Taichi Yagami and Yamato Ishida.
太一も英語くらい喋れるようになっとけよ。就職にも有利なんだから。
フランス語なら少しできるんだけどな。
あ、うちのじいさんとこ行ってたんだっけ？
それよりヤマト、免許持ってるとは知ってたけど、国際免許まで取ってたのか？
じいさんの遺言でな。お前も免許だけでもあれば、いざとなったらアニメの制作進行に就職もできるぞ。
太一、デジモンの匂いがする。
外からだ。
ビハインドアースだけ。
大きいです。有利のクワガーモンじゃない。
また来る。くそ。有利、スマホからでもゲート開けるんだよな。
ええ、ネット接続さえできればですが。
電波来た。ゲート開け有利。その子とお前だけでも先に行くんだ。
でも
迷ってる暇はね
え。わかりました。デジタルゲートオープン。 OK, you go first.
ちょっと。
俺たちはどうするの？
決まってるだろ。
いけるな、アグモン。
もちろん。
フレイモンガルルモン
晴れの日ばかりじゃないからたまに冷たい雨も降るけど傘広げよう生き方に地図なんかないけどだから自由どこへだって行ける
メガフレイ
しい明日を守れ愛する人のたくましい自分になれるさこうせ弱気な君を崩せぶつかる壁を熱い鼓動武器になるから Believe in your heart
いつまでも戦い終わらないね。
まだまだこれからさ。でも負けるわけにはいかない。
俺たちを信じてる人たちがいる限りな。
頑張るよ俺。
頼りにしてるぞ。
任しといて。
よーし行くぜ。
All right, guys, and that was the trailer for Digimon Adventure Beyond. I'm looking forward to it. But what do you guys think?
The what is the combo word I want to put? The Japanglish was throwing me off for a second there.
Yeah, a little bit.
Because we were bouncing between both languages, so I'm like, is this a subbed or dubbed, or is this going to be one of the first properties of the decade to do both and just say see it as it is?
It makes
No,
me wonder.
I think.
Go ahead, Joe.
I think so. They were in America, and the kid in the backseat of the car is American.
Okay, because I was like, it sounded very much like they had the Japanese VAs doing English voices, but we're just bouncing back and forth between like a multilingual convo, and I was curious if the whole movie was going to be like that.
It should bounce back and forth, but that's a good question. Considering the fact they were talking, one was in English, one was Japanese, and one was speaking French, so it possibly could go that route. But either way, we'll see. But before we get to the other part, where I kept on saying that somebody probably got fired over in Digicon, we did have some breaking news, guys, as we are very sad to report. Boxing legend George Foreman did pass away at 76. For all those that are not familiar with boxing, he was the guy, well, outside of boxing, he was a guy known for being a pitch man, especially the famous George Foreman grill. If you have one, well, chances are that's because of him. At the same time, he's had wonderful fights, beating Muhammad Ali and also winning gold in the Olympics. Again, this is a guy that was probably one of the most feared heavyweight boxers of our time. But yeah, he's a lot of our legends are starting to go by the wayside. But we definitely want to give this man his respect, his flowers for everything that he's done inside and outside the boxing ring. But fellas, anything else we want to add to that?
He is survived by all his children, all named George, even the girls.
Really?
Yeah.
Look it up.
They're
all George with a number.
Every one of his children is named. That is actually a very true fact.
I knew the sons. I did not know the daughters because what was it? Was the girl named George in the King of the Hill episode?
Yep.
Yes.
Hold on.
Yeah, all of his kids are all named as Joe said. All of them George. All of them have a number.
They changed her name in the show to Frida Foreman. So I thought he really had a daughter named Frida. I didn't know the girls were named George too.
Yeah, that is very true. But we just definitely want to pay our respects to that man, because again, He is definitely a part of boxing history and a legend unto himself. So definitely rest in power to that man. Again, if you're just now joining the stream, I apologize. Me and Streamlabs right now are not being very cooperative. So I apologize if I'm looking like the banker from Deal or No Deal. It's just the fact that we're just going to have to go back to what works. But for now, guys, please bear with me. I'm not just a ghost in the shell. That also being said, the other part of Digimon news that we have.
We're going over to the other one. I actually have info now. Finally.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. Oh, my bad. Go ahead, Joe.
So this is both a music video and OVA set in the still the initial 2 seasons of Digimon, which is known as Digimon Adventure and Digimon Adventure 02. Mm-hmm. This is set in between the OVA series Digimon Adventure Tri and Digimon Adventure The Last Evolution Kizuna. So this is like an interquel between the 2 films. This will be dropping. They have not given an official release date, just a premiere date. So, it originally ran at Digimon Con in yesterday.
Okay. Well, that's good to know. But they still have a release date. They don't have a release date yet.
So the OVA premiered at Digimon Con.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Oh, okay.
Gotcha. So the other part, Digimon Beat Break. Now, before we get to this, I told Joe, because he pointed this out and then the site went down for a second, I'm still saying somebody got fired. Now, for all those that don't know, this is basically a new anime series from Digimon called Digimon Beat Break. Joe, do we get any more details about this anime series as far as what's going to be about, or is it still under wraps?
No, right.
Go for it.
I hate that thing. I can't wait to go back to Streamlabs or StreamYard. No, really don't have anything. We know that it's been a while because we had Digimon Ghost something. Digimon Ghost. What was it called?
Oh, the one where the ghost was either Digimon?
Digimon Ghost game from 2021 to 2023, which started off well and then ended horribly. Which is kind of sad. No, it really did, and pretty poorly. But was also dabbling slightly in the horror genre. So I don't know what kind of genre this is going to collab with, I guess is the best word. I mean, the initial poster looks like this may be another horror-themed Digimon, which I think is cool, but hopefully they stick the landing, because Ghost Game did not do that.
Actually, I don't know. I don't even remember how it ended.
They got brought to the digital realm, told about a great evil that was approaching, and everybody was worried. It's like, well, how long do we have to prepare? It's like, oh, it's coming in about 5,000 years.
I was gonna say, because I don't remember how that went into, outside the fact that there was a ghost Digimon that was eating other Digimon.
And then they had like a huge plot hole that they did with Black Digimon being some sort of coded corrupted virus.
Mm-hmm.
That was like predicting and bringing about the Great Calamity, and then that got dropped, and then the little Triceratops Digimon had his black form, which was evil, and then they they did not stick that landing.
No, they did not. So again, we don't have a lot of information on Beat Break, but we will once it actually does come out. But one thing I did want to point out, because I wanted you guys' opinions on this one before we get to our Elio trailer. And also this is news that came out that I never thought I would see this on my bingo card. Power Rangers will be getting a reboot on Disney Plus. Now, for all those that are wondering how this is pulled off, remember Saban sold the rights. Hasbro does own Power Rangers. However, Disney has actually leased the rights to actually do a whole new reboot on Disney Plus. So I'll ask you guys this, because again, we all know Power Rangers since the 90s. We all got our favorites on what we liked or didn't like. Is Disney making the right move with rebooting Power Rangers, or is this a money grab?
So what's stopping them from just making this a sequel to the last one? Because I heard that movie was okay.
So how this is playing out is this is playing out like Doctor Who, where Hasbro is producing it and Disney is just the viewing platform.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, so Disney is not backing in. I honestly wouldn't mind Disney taking over because Disney had some very enjoyable seasons of Lightspeed Rescue. What are they called? I only know the Sentai ones, guys. Sorry. Power Ranger, Dino Thunder, and they were, I want to say SPD through RPM, but I don't think I'm right.
They did. SPD through RPM was what Disney had to.
SPD, Ninja Storm, Dino Thunder,
Mystic Knights, Mystic
Force.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, Operation Overdrive.
Unfortunately.
Because I think
they butchered Bokenger.
Yeah, but CJ was cosplaying, I think, the red SPD Ranger at BlurCon. Or whichever one, because I know Joe recognized it immediately. And I was like, I know they had a Power Ranger shoot they organized every year, but
so they did, according to this, from what I can remember, because I got, God bless, I have like the complete guide of every Sentai on me right now. Look, it came with my toy. All right, leave me alone.
We're not judging you. We're not judging you.
We got. Because I think the last thing they did would be. Yeah, so they did Ninja Storm through Jungle Fury through RPM. So that's Operation Overdrive, Jungle Fury, and RPM. Because then Nickelodeon took over with Samurai.
Okay. Well, that's good to know. But I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't think it's a bad idea. I want to see what they do. I hope it's not cheesy. Like I said, for my favorites are still SPD. Mine is still Lost Galaxy. It's Lightspeed. I did like. Dino Thunder was a little bit overkill. So was
Dino Thunder had that great episode where they actually watch an episode of Abba Ranger.
Yeah. So I'm like, it's just, I want to see, but then again, they might be trying to go to the younger demographic because let's be honest, Power Rangers equals toys and merchandise. So we're going to see what Disney comes up with. I'm kind of curious because it's no longer part of Saban's universe. So I don't know. We'll see.
Honestly, I think they're just going to start all over again because if they are going to adapt any of the newer ones, a lot of them's really hard to adapt. They could really only do Kira Major and Boom Boonger because Zenkaiger is one Ranger and 4 human-sized Megazords. Dome Brothers is just an acid trip on its own, so I don't think they'll be doing that.
Is it the one I said was Nightmare Fuel?
That's the one where they turn into the Megazord parts?
Yeah, Nightmare Fuel.
Yeah. And King Oger, they probably can't do it because of all the it's Disney. Well, it's Hasbro, not Disney producing it. If it was Disney producing it, they probably could because the majority of the sets were shot the same way The Mandalorian is with that giant movie background screen. Yeah, but the Hasbro clearly doesn't have that kind of money. So you can only really adapt the two machine themed Sentais. I would be now, but I honestly I think they're just going to do Mighty Morphin Power Rangers again because we're already seeing from the Toy Fair they're really pushing Mighty Morphin. We're getting new morphers, new blade blasters, reinterpretation of the Zords again.
I just hope they learn their lesson from the movie. That's all I can say. There
Krispy Kreme.
Was the movie bad?
No, the movie was not bad. The monster.
Wait. The reboot I thought was horrible.
No, I enjoyed it.
So you got two different things on that part.
My only complaint was they went with Dunkin' Donuts, not Krispy Kreme. Or my only complaint is they went with Krispy Kreme as a sponsor, not Dunkin' Donuts.
Didn't they try? They tried to set up a Tommy appearance for a sequel.
Yeah, they did.
That was like right before Jason David Frank died.
Yeah. But
because supposedly, I mean, they appear in the film, but supposedly it's Kimberly and Tommy, and they are multiverse jumping.
right. But either way, it's gonna be. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Joe. Go ahead.
I enjoyed it. They still do some stupid stuff like being autistic is a magic superpower, which I hate. But the actor for the Blue Ranger was fantastic.
I mean, yeah.
Lindy Lin was great as the Black Ranger, where they even point out the Asian dude being the Black Ranger, and the Blue Ranger's like, I should be the Black Ranger's like, isn't that a little on the nose?
Oh yeah, they did actually point that out. I just maybe it was just me. The story, the design, it just didn't really add up the way it should. But then again, I'm just nitpicky like that. But like you said, I'm sorry, what's far?
He was legit autistic in that role, or
yes.
Okay. I thought that was just something people were just attaching to the character, which I've seen people do. I've also fallen down a rabbit hole recently of the connection between neurodivergent people and classic media, especially.
He wasn't full Tropic Thunder. I'll put it that way.
Damn.
Okay, not the people that go full Tropic Thunder. Apparently, they have like retro stuff is apparently their entire shtick, and I'm like, I googled Sonic and autism, and I got sent down like a week-long internet.
Why would you do that to yourself?
Because like when I was at Sonic Expo, this kid, 19, so yeah, this kid is doing all the poses. He's like, yeah, this is the victory pose from what? Sonic Heroes, Sonic Adventure 1, Sonic Adventure 2, and I'm like, cool, my knees aren't built for that, but he's got it. And my brother is just like, is he? And I look at his profile. Dude's got like 20K followers on YouTube, and I think like 10K on Instagram, and it says autistic Sonic fan. He just makes like little shorts and stuff. And then my brother just goes, "Oh, you didn't know?" I'm like, "No, what?" He's like, "Yeah, autistic people like really, really like Sonic." I'm like, no, not since like I was 5 years old, and I just like the game. I didn't know that. And then when I started streaming, I kept getting a lot of like randoms in my comments saying things. And it's not like they were trolling. It's just like, okay, clearly you're making a joke that's funny to you. And it took like 15 minutes past when the joke was clever. And I'm like, these are kind of like my students from college when I used to teach with, it's called Bethesda. And I remember the entire Bethesda class was begging me to take them to the Power Rangers movie. And I'm like, hey, I just work here part-time. Y'all got to talk to the university for that. But I'm also... Go ahead.
Go ahead.
That's what brought me here, because I'm remembering I had a class of special needs and neurodivergent kids who were like, "Can we go to the Power Rangers movie?" I'm like, "I want to see it too, but like, what's the connection?"
He's more the better terminology is he's neurodivergent. The problem is once again they have someone neurodivergent and they treat it as like he's also, because he's neurodivergent, he's also an idiot savant with stuff. So it's one of those autistic equals magic superpower or neurodivergent equals magic superpower, which is something they got to stop doing. You can be. I mean, I know I'm neurodivergent and I have horrible OCD, which is now working to my advantage living alone because now I clean more often without having to be constantly bugged about it. And honestly, it explains all the robots because I love the mechanical engineering of everything. And I need to be stopped because I'm about to spend $300 on a Korean toy line that just came out. Please stop that.
But yeah, that was my whole thing about the rap. I had no idea, especially like because I didn't one, it speaks to neurodivergent people are very much learning, especially the most severely neurodivergent are very much getting better with technology use, which good for them. The education system is doing good on their part, but it's the fact that they're all finding these old and like so when I asked them like, what's the obsession with, because I've never heard y'all talk about Power Rangers in class, so they just said, hey, yeah, we love Mighty Morphin and blah blah blah. So I'm noticing this trend in the last like 6 years of they are all very much finding a lot of the classic material and like obsessed with it, and it's not a bad rabbit hole. It blew my mind to find out. And apparently he really did like doing that role. I found because we met his manager. He also manages Najee, who plays Miles in the Spider-Man games. He wants to play Static. Is his next big goal.
Nice.
I think like a lot of people like it because I think some people consider Tails neurodivergent because he constantly hangs with adults and is very technologically sound and very tool oriented and gadget oriented, which those don't actually equate. But the fact that he has an easier time making friends with adults than he does children his own age.
And the fact he's always fidgeting with something.
Dude, I watched the whole 15-minute breakdown. The character tropes in certain games, the color schemes of certain characters and character teams, and the way the level design is built, and the way the levels are paced, and the way the stories carry, and the way.
Or you could just say Sonic Boom, the animated series, and that in itself is a correct answer.
So, yeah, that very much gave a bunch of them a home, but I just until my brother broke it down for me and I was witnessing it, I was like, I have never. This plane of existence has been invisible to me until today.
Yeah, but I don't mind it. It's not too big a deal. The worst part about it is probably Goldar in the grand scheme of things. That's really the worst thing.
Who or what is Goldar?
Goldar in the original series was the general commander who was the monkey in the golden armor with the sword that would usually fight Jason or Tommy.
Right. I'm looking at
in the movie, he's literally a giant gold monster made of gold.
Nice. Well, either way, it's going to be interesting to see what they come up with. But at the same time, it's finding out that Sonic is, well, I guess it would make sense that Sonic and Tails would be toward neurodivergent people. So it does actually make a whole lot of sense. But either way, I digress. Let us know what you guys think as far as Power Ranger reboots. Will we get Mighty Morphin? We'll get something new. We'll find out when details come out.
We'll get Mighty Morphin.
I think we might.
Hear Go Power Rangers as a theme song until we die, until we get Ron Wasserman back.
More than likely, but then again, you can't beat that guitar riff. I'm sorry, it's far. I didn't mean to talk over you. Say
you're good. Just in the world of reboots, I'm surprised we haven't just done a hard Mighty Morphin parentheses 2010, 2012, 2015. Like, I appreciate the fact that they've always at least given a new series to where it's like, all right, I'm not digging this Power Rangers. I'll get a new one in a couple seasons and I can try again.
So they did. You were a bit young for this, but I think Will remembers this. They did Power Rangers Remorphed, and it was basically, Will, you may remember this. The Transformers Generation 2 animated series, which was just re-airing Transformers, the old series, but with CGI transitions.
Yeah, I remember.
They did Power Rangers, I think it was called Remorph or something like that, where it was just the original season 1, but they added like cartoon layovers during certain jokes.
Yeah. So it's kind of like what Dragon Ball Kai did. Basically just rehashed old Dragon Ball episodes, but pretty much just HD'd them. So
Dragon Ball Kai streamlined the series and made it more accurate to the manga.
Yeah.
Which is why we only have one episode of Screaming and Powering Up as opposed to 10.
Yeah, but it was updated though. It was a big ass change. But you're right. I don't know, because with Go Power Rangers, yes, it is recognizable, and the guitar riff will never go away because every time I go past Guitar Center, there's always one person that's always doing it. I'm surprised the Guitar Center doesn't ever frown upon that. But you guys let us know what you think. Are we getting something new? Are we getting something old? Or are we just getting something a hybrid of the two? That also being said, there is a sale going on with Square Enix, and I have to give them credit for this, guys, because I keep saying marketing will make the big difference in games getting sold or games getting noticed. And this guy gets it.
Hi, I'm Ben Starr, professional actor, professional idiot, and self-certified professional suggester of RPGs. It's a proper thing. Please don't look it up, I beg of you. As both a very real, not at all pretend connoisseur of games and Final Fantasy XVI's Clive Rossfield, I've been tasked by my overlords and contractual best friends Square Enix to harness my arrogant self-belief in my own brilliance, look back on the last year of RPG releases, and help you answer the age-old question, what should I play next? The short answer is, and always will be, Final Fantasy VIII. But sometimes you just need to go outside and smell the other games. Take a sniff on the wild side. Based on some rather extravagant and life-threatening unsupervised research I did in the car park outside, many of these games also feature in the Square Enix Publisher sale that is live right now. Wow, Ben, you put your life in danger so that you could bring us these incredible game-based findings? Of course I did. Admittedly, I didn't know that what I was reading was life-threatening at the time, and certainly I didn't know that it was black magic. But I did it anyway, because the dark arts are hot. Just ask Lulu. So, to kick things off, let me ask you a simple question. Do you like Peak? Of course you do! So let me strongly suggest that you should play the critically acclaimed masterpiece, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. This globe-trotting adventure follows Cloud Strife and his allies on a mission to stop the antagonist Sephiroth. It's a truly epic journey. Add to that an incredible story, beautiful visuals, massive amount of things to see and do, and some of the most iconic characters in gaming. I see you, Tifa and Aerith, and you have a real winner. But while Final Fantasy VII Rebirth lets you hang out with beloved old friends, what if you wanted to meet some new ones? If you still have an eye for action, you should check out Visions of Mana. The latest release from the legendary Mana series is an action RPG and features a vibrant cast of heroes as they venture on a journey of a lifetime to the fabled Mana Tree. It has everything an RPG should. Combat, drama, adventure, Torgal! I mean, pickles! What more could you want? Now, if you're the kind of person who likes to take their time strategizing in battles, let me bring Fantasia Neo Dimension to your attention. Yeah, that rhymes. It comes from the original creator of Final Fantasy himself, Hironobu Sakaguchi. Some call him the father of the series, but wait, does that make him my dad too? Of course it doesn't. That would be absolutely insane. How would that even work? Explore the world through beautiful environments created from more than 150 handcrafted dioramas. It's fast, it's fun, and offers that classic turn-based Final Fantasy feel. Best of all, you can switch the battle music to Final Fantasy 16's. Come to me, Fantasian! Of course, if it's that classic Final Fantasy vibe you're after, then you can also just play some classic Final Fantasies. The Final Fantasy Pixel Remaster series updates the first 6 games in the series with beautiful new pixel art and loads of quality of life features like auto battle, experience boosters, and more. And the music. Oh, the music. Speaking of legendary games, have you ever played Dragon Quest III? It's one of the most influential games of all time. If you've ever played a Japanese RPG, it'll probably owe a debt to this undisputed classic. Now it's back with Dragon Quest III HD 2D remake, a stunning reimagining of the beloved masterpiece and the narrative beginning of the Erdrick trilogy. Basically, one of the greatest RPGs of all time is now better. Kind of a no-brainer, really. All these games have amazing stories, but what if you want to guide your own? That's one of the best things about Romancing Saga 2: Revenge of the Seven. You're in charge. In this non-linear RPG, the inheritance system allows you to rule and expand an empire across multiple generations, whether you're an empress, an emperor, or salamander. As far as I'm concerned, there's been far too much salamander erasure of late, and I'm glad that someone's finally speaking up for the scaly kind. Depending on how you approach each scenario, the story can play out differently. Snappy and satisfying combat with unique mechanics. If you've never played a Saga game before, this is the place to start. And finally, what if you want something with a handsome and charismatic lead? Then I suggest you should play, oh what a surprise, Final Fantasy XVI. Now also on PC. It's an epic story full of fast-paced action, incredible storytelling, insanely good performances, and massive icon battles that'll leave you breathless. And that's just a small selection of the great RPG titles currently in the Square Enix Publisher sale. Right, I'm off. How do I get this out of here? Oh.
I'll say it once and I'll say it again. If you want to know how to advertise, get a guy, get a good screenwriter, and then just say go. As you can see, guys, that is the Square Enix publishing sale. If you go to Square Enix Games, or you can go to PlayStation Store or Xbox or Steam, all their games right now are low in cost for the foreseeable future, which I'm assuming it'll probably be the next couple of weeks. but definitely check them out. And also at the same time, Joe, what did you say? You want that guy? You want that guy to play Doctor Who or something?
You mean Ben Starr needs to be Doctor Who? I mean, he and I can already be best friends because he and I, Final Fantasy is our favorite Final Fantasy.
Fair enough.
We both we should probably reach out to him.
Still, hey, never know. Yeah, I'm just saying, you never know with these days. But again, if you are a Square Enix fan, definitely check that out. I plan to because it's over 200 titles, so it's something for everybody. So the next trailer that we have from Disney, Elio. Tafara, I got to point this one out because I completely forgot what this is about. Do you remember? You're muted, Tafara. You're muted, sir.
I don't either.
I remember.
I think One-Eyed Aliens. Also, damn, Square Enix just no mention of Kingdom Hearts at all in like that entire promo. So
none. They're gonna be petty.
They don't want to pay the mouse.
They don't want to get anyone's hopes up at all.
Pretty much.
But yeah, I forgot this was coming. To be honest, so I think Pixar is trying to not separate but kind of branch out because even the that Winning Time thing they just put out, like it's they're very much establishing, hey, it's Disney's platform, but we kind of run the show, so I don't know. It's interesting. Also, if this doesn't work, we can go back to Coco too for whatever reason.
Oh, remember me. Dang, that song's stuck in my head now.
How do you make a sequel out of that though? That's
for Coco. I guess he goes back to the land of the dead. I guess I don't know why, unless he gets pulled back. But well, I guess we'll find out when it comes out. Anyway, here's a trailer for Elio, a guy that wants to be abducted by aliens and gets his wish.
Okay, come and get me.
You okay?
I'm trying to get abducted by aliens.
Elio!
Skipping school?
I don't know if this is boundary testing or sleep regression or... Which one of these is you?
I don't know, but I think that one is you.
My son, are you prepared to become the greatest war machine in the universe?
I don't know.
Your life isn't up there, Elio. You need to make friends.
I just want to belong somewhere. So if any aliens are listening, please come and get me. Okay, bye, I love you. It's really happening.
We search the universe
For the dreamers and stargazers
like you.
This is awesome!
Are you gonna eat me?
What? Ew. Oh, no. My name's Elio. Well, what's your name? No one's ever asked me my name before. I'm Glorden. Back home, I didn't fit in. I thought Earth was the problem. But what if it's me? Well, I like you, and you seem fine to me. I never had a friend before. Me neither. Up top.
I am Grygon, prepared to be conquered.
But I just got here.
Perhaps one of us could talk to Lord Grygon.
I am shy.
I'll do it.
What a heroic figure.
I'm finally fitting in, and now Grygon's gonna blow everyone up. My friends need our help.
You made a friend?
Just give me a call.
You will feel my wrath. Glorden?
Hi, Dad. I'm a bargaining chip. No, say the other thing. Oh, help me, Father. Quiet, you.
What does that unholy sound? Stop!
These are the lava tunnels. Gordon, I am not fireproof. Why didn't you say something? Gordon! Just get in my mouth. It's actually kind of comfy in here. It is? I've never been in there.
You know what? I would watch that. That was Disney's Elio trailer, guys. Although I would not trust to get into an alien's mouth in hot lava, but I don't know. It reminds me of another movie. I just can't put my finger on what movie that it reminds me of. But what do you guys think?
Probably thinking of what was it, Home, where the aliens come in and just like kick everyone off of Earth and make it their house for like 3 years or something crazy.
Something like that, yeah. It bugs me. I should know the name of it. It's just like I immediately, the moment the trailer started playing, I was like, okay, I know this storyline from somewhere else, but I can't picture it. Joe, what about you?
I mean, I'm down. It looks fun.
I just picks like
Are we about to see a little boy lose an eye in the beginning of this film? Because like the patch is throwing me off because he had it in the first trailer, but now he has 2 eyes in this one. So
right. So that's what makes me wonder: is he going to lose an eye, or has he always had that problem? That's a good question, but I guess we'll find out once that actually does get released. But before we get to Metalbringer, Joe, you said that we did have another thing about Ultraman that also got released.
Yes.
You mean just go play the trailer?
Yeah, go ahead and play the trailer.
Okay, I know if you wanted to add something to it first. Okay, I'll play it. And that's pretty much it. So, fellas, outside of this, so Joe, what news do we have about Ultraman?
So this is the 2025-2026 Ultraman Omega. That is his formal announcement. Looks like he's going to be using his Ice Slugger, which is the horn that usually protrudes from an Ultraman's head that can attack. Made famous by Ultra 7, which I just got the steel box for. That aside, so maybe this will be a bit more serious than the Ultraman arc. Hopefully around the same tone as Ultraman Blazar, but we'll find out soon. Tafari has some experience with Ultraman now, so what do you think?
I'm curious to see what it is. So
Because I dragged him for a whole season.
yeah, I'm now versed in the world of Ultraman. Is that the one we watched? Is that out like for pickup anywhere, right? Or
Not yet. They are releasing. The Blazar is out. Then they're going to be releasing Ultraman Arc, which is a very good series, and then I think, or Ultraman Z, and then I think they're doing Ultraman Arc. I don't think they're doing Trigger or Dino for a little bit.
all right. I mean, Ultraman stuff seems to just. I mean, it seems interesting enough. They all at least find ways to do all their own unique things. So, at least we have I don't know. I'm curious to see more about it. And yes, to the person in the comments, Luca, you're in the right place. You're just here for technical difficulties. Sorry about that.
Yeah, that's the one thing I was going to point out. Yes, I am. Yes, I am not the banker from Deal or No Deal. Streamlabs is just really not vibing with us, so we're just trying to make the best out of the situation we can. So bear with us. But yeah, outside of that, I'm looking forward to it. I just want to see if it's different. I mean, my Ultraman series is still the one on Netflix. I really do enjoy that one, but I'm curious to see what this next one is going to bring. But speaking of things that are being brought, I'm going to ask this question. Let me actually show the article first before I actually bring this up, because I was just curious about what you guys thought about this. So, not just a goof, a Disney Plus series that is going to be the documentary on the making on a Goofy movie. Now, of course, this does premiere on Disney Plus April 7th. So that comes around the time of the film's 30th anniversary. So it'll be about 30 years since a Goofy movie had premiered. Let me ask you guys this. Is it really needed, or is the fact that, is it just nice to know how the movie got made? Do we really need that type of documentary, or do we just need another Goofy movie possibly?
Somebody at Disney saw the episode of Atlanta where they made their own documentary and was like, I think the absolute hell not. How dare you? We'll do it ourselves. They could also be trying to gauge interest for a third film, which even so, you don't really need it. But at this point, give us something, because folks have been asking for something new with this for a long time. So for the anniversary, yeah, a documentary works. Get us. I wouldn't be surprised if in the doc they release a teaser or a announcement for a third movie or a Goof Troop show that continues after the second film. Something.
I mean, I can see that too. Joe, what do you think?
I'm down for it. I mean, I'm acquaintances with the voice of Max Goof, so that's fun. And I will be able to see him to like June, but you know, I mean, I'm looking forward to it. It's definitely something I do want to see.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of want to see it just because, well, number one, we already know Tevin Campbell was the voice behind the iconic songs. The fact of the writing and just that, you know, it just made it a very memorable movie. So it is going to be curious to see what they show in the documentary outside. We already don't know, but I think it would be nice to actually see that. But let us know in the comments what you think about the documentary, if you'd be looking forward to it, or we're just going to watch a Goofy movie again. Either way, it's not a bad day. So before we do get to our Daredevil Born Again review and our comic pulls, there is another trailer that we do have for a video game called Metal Bringer. Joe, you said you had a nice analogy for what Metal Bringer is. You remember what you said?
Yeah, it's Hades, but with robots.
Fair enough. That's what it was. That's why I couldn't think of it. So if you don't know what Metal Bringer is, guys, here's the trailer for it. And I'm going to be honest, after I watched it, I'm kind of intrigued.
Oh, so this is out already.
Yep.
Okay. Kind of reminds me a little bit of Custom Robo if anybody's played that on game.
A little bit, because you can, if you blow up the mech enough, you can start picking up their parts and using their own weapons or body parts against them.
Nice.
Okay.
And then if you go into like certain shops, you can analyze the parts you're using, and then if you die, you can make your own mech and start using the parts you have.
Interesting. Well, either way,
it's been a lot of fun.
Okay, I was going to ask if you played it. I was going to ask. I was a little bit muted when I came off that. Did you ask if you played it already? So you said you've already checked it out. It was fun.
Yeah, I made it through one boss. Tanks do a lot in that game. Like they, some of the little robots just are flat out spider tanks, kind of like Tachikomas from Ghost in the Shell. Man, those things just like, if you can catch the robots or all the grunts in like a cluster, almost all the things do explosion shells. So you just like wipe them out or heavily damage a mech repeatedly.
Gotcha. Well, I'm definitely going to try that. I'm going to look that up on Steam and actually see about playing that myself. But aside from that, before we get to our comic book pulls, we do got to talk about that episode of Daredevil Born Again. Now, we are speaking about Daredevil Born Again in its entirety, which means that, yes, if you have not yet seen the latest episode, there will be spoilers ahead. This is your first and only warning that you're going to get before we start talking about it, that we are going to be talking about that episode. So if you have yet to see Daredevil Born Again and do not want to be spoiled, Now, for the next few minutes, will be the perfect time to mute us or come back to us. But outside of that, you've been warned. So, this episode of Daredevil Born Again, we were bound to see the Punisher. This is actually following the case of Mr. Hector, aka White Tiger, in which he was 86th by a person wearing a Punisher vest. This does eventually lead to another case, which again, this whole entire episode was really well done as far as everybody giving epic speeches. Matt took on the pro bono case of a guy who basically stole a box of fiddle faddle that the same officers that arrested him decided to eat from the boxes. This led to a sort of a systemic economic issue to which the man had brought up that when Matt came to him and sat there and said, hey, we got you a good deal. You're only in jail for 10 days. The man does give a hell of a speech talking about, you guys will always see us differently than we see you. The fact that, he tries so hard to actually, have a better life. All he wanted was something good and something sweet, and he stole to prove that. But to make a long story short, it was a really good speech to where Matt kind of had to rethink some things. At the same time, he's still following up on Hector's murder, to which he used his echolocation to look for the bullet. The bullet did have a Punisher logo, which killed me because he knew exactly where Frank was, or knew immediately where to go to find Frank. And of course, Frank is already busy, as he had literally the post behind him. He was already tracking the cops that Matt had pointed out that are basically mimicking his work, to where the Punisher becomes the voice of reason for Matt. As far as Matt not wanting assistance, he really wanted permission, and the whole thing surrounding Foggy's death and that he wouldn't say his name, it was very well done. At the same time, Mayor Fisk is learning that he does not like the song "We Built This City on Rock and Roll." But then again, if you hear it multiple times in an episode, you're bound to go nuts too. To which his aide, after a night of drinking, had some loose lips and actually caused him to be in some controversy. To which he was about to fire said aide until said aide, or I like to call him, or as we said in a different podcast, Tony Soprano Jr., fell on the sword a little bit, to the point to where Kingpin had forgiven him, but also warned him not to cross him again. We also seen Kingpin and Vanessa going through marriage counseling, to which Vanessa tries to point out and says, please, hopefully you're not hurting him because of her side piece. Well, we'll get to that in a minute. Outside of that, we see Muse for the first time. Well, technically, we've been seeing Muse all throughout the episodes, but we see his artwork. We do finally get to see Muse going back to his workshop, I guess, for the new victim, to which he is kind of doing a reverse transfusion just for his artwork. So we do get to see that. Outside of that, to wrap it up, Matt is going back to what looks to be like training, picking up his stick and really training outside after getting some coffee. If you know Luke Cage, you know what I mean by coffee. At the same time, we do see Kingpin having a Godfather-esque dinner, and then we see a man in a cage begging Kingpin, calling him every name in the book, actually. Kingpin, Wilson, Fisk, let me out. Which we come to find out that is Vanessa's side piece, otherwise known as Adam, and we now know why Kingpin's knuckles always look bloodied. He's been beating this man up, although to keep his word to Vanessa, he has kept him alive. So that's basically the gist of what happened this episode, fellas. What are we thinking about this episode? Was it good? Was it bad? Were we surprised? How were we?
I keep forgetting that the BB reporter girl, because I didn't even realize that was her in the first scene. Don't you hate it when you try to be an adult and your friends are just like, who needs goals? Stay out and drink till sunrise. What? I have to go to this job I really like. Who cares? Let's fall asleep on the bus. Like I have dreams and hopes, and then one. That was weird. No confrontation between the two of them about, hey, could you not publish things I say in a drunken stupor? Also, maybe don't admit doing hard ketamine and drugs to your boss,
right?
Or to the mayor of the city who you work for, because that's a scandal in itself. Vanessa, why did you even need to tell that man about that? Like, what the that just you knew what you were doing in the first place. Yeah, it's also weird to see Fisk trying. Everyone is wrestling with their darker half this episode. That's really what this was. And then a potential young White Tiger successor at the beginning of the episode.
Mm-hmm. Joe?
Pretty much everything Tafari just said. Anything Kingpin does after enduring that is completely and utterly justified. I really thought they said Latvian, but it was actually Latvian. We went to the embassy.
That threw me too, because I thought we got a mention.
I actually had to ask someone, it's like, what do they speak in Latvia? It's like Latvian. It's like, okay, so we built a city on rock and roll in Latvian.
But still,
everything else is fine. I like that Frank broke down Matt and made him realize, no, you're doing this for him.
Mm-hmm.
But you need to be out there doing this for everybody, because I'm not going out there. I tried walking that, and it doesn't work for me.
True. Although I did love the fact that the whole thing is like you didn't come here seeking help. You came here seeking permission, because the whole thing with him was you went dark side when Bullseye killed Foggy. You went dark side and you threw him off a building, and now you're afraid of what you'll do if you go back, if you don the mask again, which I thought was interesting. Like, so it's like and I made a joke about this on Bird's Eye View. I'm like, DC, this is how you do a person's name, not the whole why did you say that name. You literally saw Punisher you saw Frank look at Matt and go, say his name, just say his name, and you see conflicted Matt can't say his name. But at the same time, the moment he sat there, I'm sorry, not the line. He sat there and said, Poindexter got life. And then Frank, be petty or not, turns around and says, did Foggy get life? And I'm like, ooh. that was the one that made Matt swing on Frank. And even Frank was like, I'm not mad, because that's what he's like. That's the rage you want to tap into. Well, if you want to go after him, go for it. But don't come to me and try to be all high morality when you already knew what I was about. But it was between that and Kingpin. I was wondering why Kingpin was able to stay calm the entire time. He is basically using Adam as his own human pincushion. But I'll give it to him. He's keeping his word to Vanessa. He didn't kill him. He just beats him severely every night, but he didn't kill him. But it's still funny where everybody's like, well, nobody saw Muse. I'm like, well, it's a guy who basically picks up people who go missing and nobody looks. Even when someone points it out to Matt that a lot of people have went missing, but nobody is looking for them. So I'm not sure if we're going to get the scene to where Muse actually built up the mural of the bodies. We may or may not. But again, this was really a good episode. I can't talk about it enough that the writing was great. The fact that Murdoch will be back in full costume again. I will say this, because we are getting 9 episodes this season and we're getting 9 episodes next season. Do we really need to rush any other characters right now being revealed, or are we good on the story pace as it is?
I think we're good. When I saw the newest kidnapping victim, I was like, oh, could this be a reveal for Miles? And then I saw his day was going. I'm like, never mind, you are cannon fodder. And then with all the bodies strung up in the little wherever he's hiding under the subway area, he's clearly gonna, I think, announce himself doing something. It's just all the cops and all the other anti-vigilantes are looking for a guy in a white suit. Nobody caught Muse by mistake looking for White Tiger.
Right. That's the thing I don't understand. But like you guys said, we are gonna wind up getting to the White Tiger just because the mantle is passed down to a relative, so we are bound to see that.
Would she be a young Avenger then? Because she's like what? She's like clearly a teenager.
Yeah. She'd be I want to say Avenger, but low level defender if I'm right.
Possible champion.
Yeah.
Champion, because that's what the movie's called now, right?
Yeah. Yeah, Champions what the movie's called. Yeah.
Champions is feeling like it's gonna be Champions like Femme Fatale featuring Spider-Man, because we've got Kate, we've got Ant-Man's daughter, and now we've got young Ava Ayala, I think her name is.
Yeah.
And then Miss Marvel. So not really seeing it. I mean, possibly Billy, and Tommy if he finds him before whatever they're going to do. So
yeah, that is a fair point. But yeah, anything else outside of the episode we can add to it?
Yeah.
Nice seeing the duality of Frank and Daredevil again. Basically, he made him cry last time because he was painting him a bloody picture of his worst day, but this time it's because he's trying to call him out from running from himself.
Mm-hmm.
He wouldn't even say Foggy's name. And then Frank is doing whatever with the board of Pinterest people on the back that's behind him in that room, which I don't know if Frank is tracking all the missing people or Frank is tracking down the cops who are using his name, because he did call them a bunch of fanboys. So he knows about the Punisher unit at least.
Yeah.
Whether he does anything remains to be seen.
That's the thing I'm wondering, because technically Frank does have a spot in Born Again, and he does get his own special. So that's going to be interesting to see what they do with it. But Joe, anything else you want to add to the review of this one?
No, good episode.
Cool. Let us know in the comments what you guys think. Again, this is only episode 4, so we still got 5 episodes to go before the remainder of this season. And like I said, I'm just curious to see how that's going to fall out. But hopefully, we won't hear "We Built This City on Rock and Roll" again for 100th time, because that'll drive you nuts. But like Tafari said in the previous podcast, Kingpin could have went to Harlem and heard something completely different, something with soul in it, and we would have been better off. Just saying. But the last trailer we do got, guys, before we get to our comic book reviews, Pokemon Horizons, the Mega Voltage arc, which starts April 11th. Joe, do we have any more information on that, or are we playing the trailer?
No, we know that there's a time skip, so magically these kids are actually allowed to age. This is I think either 1 to 3 years after the end of the current arc in Japan.
All right.
The Pokemon professor that leads the Volteckers is missing in a mystical world mystical land that kind of travels, called Lucendia or something. Netflix hasn't caught quite back up yet. So I'm expecting Roy to get his evolved form of his partner Pokemon, who's only at the 2nd stage, and other things. The series has been actually pretty good. Much more stronger storyline, better characters, more serialized than it is anthology like normal Pokemon outside of the Sun and Moon series.
Gotcha.
Moon was one big series. This one has a much stronger narrative. So I'm looking forward to it. Plus Captain Pikachu. And the fun thing is, in this series, is the original Pikachu voice actress now portrays a trainer who is she's pretty much Juri.
Gotcha.
Street Fighter.
Okay. So, oh wow, Juri from. Okay, I gotta see this.
She has a glue that she constantly makes self-destruct. She's got the screaming ancient Jigglypuff, and they just scream at each other, and she just hates Captain Pikachu. It's the best thing ever because it's the voice actress from the original Pikachu.
All right, I'm game to see this. For all those that haven't seen the trailer, here is the Mega Voltage arc teaser for Pokemon Horizons. I just realized something. Hold on. Yeah. Let's get that. So let's try that again. Apologies, guys.
私たちで取り戻すライジングボルテッカーズの真実を
目が新しく
メガピンチみたいだなロイ
アニポケから目が離せない
ピカデュカリオ
メガパワーアップ
もう一度私たちの大空へ向かって
Roy reunites with Liko in episode 90. They will try to reunite the Rising Volt Tacklers in hopes of finding Charizard and Freed. Spinel has captured all of Lucius's Pokemon, except for Rayquaza. A new character named Oruto will make his debut, and he owns a Sableye. Both Roy and Oruto have Mega Rings, and have trained together in Kalos. The series will take a 2-week break, and will continue on April 11th with a 1-hour special featuring 2 back-to-back episodes.
All right, that's interesting. So that was the trailer for the Mega Voltage arc teaser for Pokemon Horizon starting April 11th. I see what you mean now. I would probably give that a shot. It's kind of been a while since I've watched Pokemon. So I will probably give that a shot to see what it's about. But anything else you want to add to it, or Tafari, your thoughts on it?
I mean, if we're doing time, is the goal still to be the greatest Pokemon master for this kid, or are they on a completely different mission? Microphone.
Joe, you're muted. Joe, you're muted.
No, she's actually on school assignment.
Okay, because I'm like, if we do time skips, that's fine. I would like, whether it's like in the background of a television, photo, news article, I'd like to see an aged up Ash and the gang referenced at some point.
They're not in this part of the world because they're in the Scarlet and Violet area, so they're like in Spain.
The Kalos region is like what cut off from the rest of the world, or what?
No. It's just that I don't know where the timeline on that is. So they're in Kalos and whatnot. So they're like over in Pokemon Spain and in Pokemon France. In Europe, meanwhile, like Ash is over in Japan.
So I mean, I thought he was. But this takes place after his run, basically, though.
Yeah.
Right? Okay, so I figured he was a world champion, so they would at least know who he is. That's what I was like. If it's like a news article or something covering, I don't know, he's on a victory tour or something. Let us see the aged of Ash, Misty, and Brock. But it's like the fact that they at least have like a plot going, because we had to get to like what Pokemon Battle Frontier before we got to what was the teams like Plasma and Magma, who were like who were like a legitimate threat for a while, and it was actually growing more concerned than the plot of becoming the best. So at least if they've got something here, 90 episodes in already, but as long as they got
it's on Netflix. They got the first 3 seasons. So you can watch the dub or the sub over there.
Okay.
Storyline goes from Jump Street. This isn't like where it's like his goals and things. Like, no, there's a general mystery. They got to track down these special Pokemon that unlocks the secret land for Tapagos, the like World Island Pokemon.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a rival exploration company that's trying to do it. They are not Team Rocket. I would say this, like they are legitimately dangerous people.
Gotcha. Okay.
The main dude uses that Mega Man Battle Network Pokemon that's Ghost Fire, that's got like the arm blades.
Uh-huh.
Again, these are legitimately dangerous people this time. Plus, Larry's great. God, I love Larry.
Good to know. Well, let us know what you guys think about Pokemon Horizons, especially with the arc that's coming out very soon. We definitely want to know your opinions on that. But that being said, we are going to go ahead and move on to our comment polls tonight. Before we get to that, we do want to show love to Rick's Comic City. Again, Nashville's #1 place for comic books, for mangas, for Funko Pops, not Funko Pops. There's a big difference between ice cream and there's a big difference between collectibles. But collectibles you can find at Rick's Comic City, Nashville location, Clarksville location. Also their website at rickscomiccity.com. Definitely check them out. Why? Because you see our faces on their television, so they want to show us love, so we want to show love to them back. Definitely check out rickscomiccity.com. If you are in the Middle Tennessee area, if you are not, please support your local comic book stores, support your local independent bookstores, support your local libraries. Because, guys, I don't know if you know this, Liesberries. Thank you for watching me this far. Libraries carry the most up-to-date comics, mangas, and video games. I found that out yesterday. Libraries carry video games now. At the same time, guys, independent bookstores and comic book stores need our patronage. They need your hard-earned dollars because, yes, Amazon is easy, Barnes & Nobles is easy, even reading your comic books online is easy. But trust me, please support and shop local. You will miss these stores when they are gone. But with that being said, guys, I want to say, Joe, you're still getting your things up.
Well, I was also going to say, check out their awesome book club, the Next Chapter Society. I actually have a friend that is a part of that, and they brought me to one of their book club book swaps. It was a lot of fun. So if you get the chance to do that, by all means, please go do.
Do you know when they meet up, or is it just
usually Tuesdays? Tuesdays once a month. You can just find it at Next Chapter Society.
Cool.
Or you can go to the National Public Library and see about joining from there.
Nice. Always up for joining the book club that's not Oprah. I'm sorry, that was wrong. But with that being said, Joe, I do see you're at Comics Up, sir. So whenever you're ready.
First off, we got Absolute Flash #1. This is written by Jeff Lemire, art and cover by Nick Robles, and colors by Andrea Lucas. This is the start of Absolute Flash in the Absolute Universe, where we can put children into the ocean if you're Batman. This is Wally West. In this one, Wally is a military brat who's being tired of being able to make friends because his dad moves too much. Befriends Barry Allen and somehow gets super speed powers. This is a solid start to the series. A little different. Grodd looks super weird if that is Grodd.
Right.
But otherwise, I had a good time with it. I like Jeff Lemire's writing. The artwork is solid. I'm a big Wally West fan. So this is a very solid introduction to The Flash.
I agree. This is an interesting story because, again, with the absolute universe, they are doing different takes on heroes. This was interesting to make the story be around Wally, but at the same time, Barry is already dead. So that's the part where I won't say dead because I don't want to get too much into it, but let's just say you're going to question exactly where his role is in this. At the same time, I know I usually am against when certain stories have a retelling. This one looks like this was thought out for The Flash. So I will say this was definitely an interesting read. And I want to keep up with it. I want to see where they go with the retelling of this story around Wally.
Yep. Next up, we got a question all along the Watchtower. This is written by Alex Sugira. Can't read that. Sugira with art by Cian Tormey and Raul Fernandez and colors by Romalo Fernando Jr. We are getting this, I believe, is the penultimate issue to the all on the watch end of the question miniseries. We find that she gets a dog from the Phantom Zone, who I thought was like Doomsday Dog, just from the little rocks and whatnot.
Yeah.
She is slowly fighting her way through corrupted superheroes and trying to find a way to take out Cyborg Superman. Again, enjoying this. I like the guest character who gets to come in a little bit towards the end. Artwork's decent. I do like how everyone's drawn. I feel bad for Ted and Jaime, but they do their best. Again, another solid book. Did you die?
He might have frozen. Are you able to go to the next one or no?
Oh yeah, I can go to the next one. You and I can talk about the next one.
Okay.
Next one is DC Cross Sonic. This is written by Ian Flynn with art by Bryce Thomas, colors by Matt Herms, and Darkseid invades Mobius, or Mobius crosses over into the DC universe. I'm still not sure which is which, because they do a lot of stuff in this book, and I'm just not sure which side crossed over to what side. Because I know there are parademons on Mobius in certain areas, but they're also in the city area, and I'm not sure if that's supposed to be Metropolis or Gotham. Because they're human? No, they're not humans. They're animals. So they are on Mobius still. I'm not super far into the Sonic comic.
Okay.
Oh, that was actually good though. Sorry guys, I had to step out for a second. I apologize.
No, we figured you had something to do. But it's cool. It was cool to see this collab come through. Also lets me know Sonic can kind of go wherever he wants and is not limited to just Paramount properties, which is great.
I do like how everyone's teamed up. Silver's with Jon Stewart, Amy's with Wonder Woman, Knuckles is with Superman, Shadow's with Batman, which they do share a very similar backstory, so that's why. There's even already someone doing voice work on certain panels. Sonic is teamed up with naturally with the Flash.
Right.
Which I love that Flash says he's speed personified, and Sonic goes, well, he's speed perfected. Even though this is Wally, so that means he can steal Sonic's speed if he wants to.
Yeah, the matchups, the team ups were interesting on this one. I will say that I do like the fact that they kept it linear to the Sonic lore as far as Knuckles and the Master Emerald, as far as the islands and Silver and the rest of them. But yeah, the matchups between Sonic and Superman, Sonic and Flash, Knuckles and Superman, Shadow and Batman, and then Miles and Amy along with Cyborg and Wonder Woman, and Green Lantern still being thrown in this. It is. I'm gonna be honest. This is a fun read. This is a really, really fun read. So yeah, I am definitely looking forward to this series. Even though it's gonna be a limited run, but still, I'm gonna be honest. This really did get my attention. I liked it.
Anything else you got, Tafari?
No. This is a one shot, or this is gonna be a series?
This is gonna be a mini series.
It's gonna be a mini series.
How many books does that usually run?
Probably 5 or 6.
Mm-hmm.
If they do a omnibus or all in one, I might pick it up because nobody near me is carrying this. So that's
because I think they're also supposed to fuse at some point.
Yeah, that's my guess.
Like each character becomes merged with one of the DC heroes.
Yes.
I think I've seen concept art of that they've done a few months ago. So that wouldn't shock me either.
It would be, and like I said, it's interesting so far. That's why I'm kind of seeing where they go with this. But I do like the fact that it's not really drawn dark, because again, this is kind of being geared towards kids a little bit. It's even Darkseid was drawn like a Saturday morning cartoon villain, but it wasn't really dark at the we're used to. So I guess that being geared toward kids, it just makes it more lighthearted. But I got no complaints.
Yeah, he reminds me of the version of Super Friends he was in, Challenge of the Superpowers.
Yeah.
Where Firestorm and Cyborg were on that team.
Yep. That'd be it.
We don't need to remember those.
Not we don't talk about Proto situation.
Moving on over, we got Miles Morales number 31. This is the finale of the Pools of Blood arc in Miles, where Deadpool's having an outing with his daughter, trying to assassinate Miles. They are trying to take out Agent Gao, who has aligned herself with a mysterious god who's given her powers. Who you get to find out who it is. And more gods come in because Miles is now dealing with Anansi a whole lot in this thing.
I'm sorry.
Shift also gets a new name and new identity. So he's no longer also Miles Morales. He has a full persona, finally, which is nice.
Yep.
Very sweet of it, too, how he gains the new identity. I really did like that. Fantastic book. Artwork doesn't disappoint. Written by Cody Ziegler, art by Luigi Zagaria, and colors by Brian Valencia.
Yeah, it was also interesting. Anansi has no chill.
None.
He has zero chill whatsoever. But I did like the fact of Deadpool and Ellie being a part of this, and Deadpool being himself, takes every shot he can, but still gets what he wants at the end. Which makes me, with Deadpool's story, which kind of intersects with Miles Morales for this one. But overall, it's a good episode. Good issue. With this Deadpool being kicked back to his world, and Miles wasted no time in that. But yeah, the fact that of course he's getting his own name now, and it just sets up for something else, especially at the end with Anansi and Thor talking.
Yeah. Next up, we're on Exceptional X-Men with number 7. This is a collateral damage issue, which just kind of means technically not part of X-Man Hunt, but X-Man Hunt kind of touches on it a little bit.
Yeah.
It's written by Eve L. Ewing, art by Nolan Woodard, colors by Nolan Woodard, and art by Carmen Carino. Pretty much the nitty gritty is Kitty and Emma are teaching Bronze and Melee and filling them in on what could have been theirs had Krakoa prospered, but of course, man just can't leave them alone.
Right.
Meanwhile, Axio is really getting into the being a part of Verate, but unfortunately, we learned who Verate's present CEO is. Spoilers: the cover actually doesn't lie
at all. I'm sorry. The more I looked at the cover, I'm like, y'all just really threw that in our faces, huh?
Well, it's better than being lied to. Like, Superman dies this issue. No, he doesn't.
Fair point. Fair point.
I'm going to be biased because this is, once again, kind of Emma focused, so that means I enjoy it more, but I can see where some people may not like this. It has very little to do with X-Man Hunt. Like, Charles tries to get them to help out, and they're all just, like, piss off. Or no, Iceman runs in to let everyone know Charles has escaped, and everyone's got to get, like, the kids need to get the lesson of Charles Xavier. And Katie's like, he's a good guy. Sometimes he's a bad guy. He just kind of, like, he really sucks sometimes.
That was
but he does it for the right reasons.
Right. That was the whole gist of it. It's like, is he a good guy? He's like, well, he's done some good things. He's done some terrible things. And I've said it all the time. Charles is a pacifist and a hypocrite.
Yep. So solid book. Moving on over into X-Force number 6, X-Force issue 9. Remember, guys, X-Force is wrapping up. This is one of the 3 books slated to be canceled. This is X-Man Hunt number part 6 of 7. While Forge, Tank, Captain Britain, and Rachel are still dealing with La Diabla, who's an alchemist and scientist who's teamed up with not quite Colossus and a version of a Sasquatch known as Rampage. Charles has communicated with Sage, who has quit over the death of Surge, which is the reason why I'm barely even interested in this book. Surge was the only reason I was going to read it. They got rid of her, so interest
Out the window.
While Forge and the team gets their butts handed to him by La Diabla, Sage hooks up with Charles, and we learn that the golden egg is the final resurrection cocoon of Krakoa, and Charles uses it to resurrect his wife, Lilandra.
Mm-hmm.
And then they go off to space to go find his daughter. Yeah, that's it.
Again, hypocrite. You will burn your entire team just to resurrect your wife and go save your child, and wonder why Scott is pissed.
I mean, what parent wouldn't go that far if he had the ability?
You would burn the same people you trained that would die for you
to save your own child.
To save your own child.
No, that's a justifiable reason. It's your only child that you are aware of.
But the only reason why Scott hasn't vaporized you is because of another student, because of Rogue. Rogue is the only reason why Scott has not taken out Charles.
So, honestly, this is mostly dealing with the Charles stuff. This barely even deals with Forge's team. They just need to drop the pretense with Tank. We know Tank is Colossus at this point.
Pretty much.
I mean, I recommend it only in that it's part of the larger whole. But in the grand scheme of things, I'm okay with X-Force going to the wayside.
Colossus with shape-shifting abilities. That's some scary stuff. You just don't brandish a blade out of nowhere. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, true. Meanwhile, things I do like. Magic. This is written by Ashley Allen, art by Jermaine Peralta, and colors by Arthur Hisali. Magic, last issue, Magic was dealing with some demons connected to the 5 magic seals. He is teaming with Cal. She's defeated pretty much everybody thus far, but gets pulled into a demonic realm, which hinders her magic by a demon known as Liminal, who in this issue tries to convert her by using constructs from her past, like Limbo version Kitty Pryde and Belasco, and Leon's just not about that life. So,
but all he wants to do is talk.
Well,
I just want to talk. I'm sorry.
I mean, it is Illy, so she will immediately toss that sword out if she even because she's also dealt with demons before, and talking is probably the worst thing that they could do.
But in his defense, that's all he really wanted to do until she finally listened.
Yeah, but again, like I said, you're in a demon realm. Talking to a demon is probably worse than fighting a demon.
That is true.
Because they get you to agree to something, then you're screwed.
Well, that's true, where that kind of leads to the next part of the story.
Yeah, she winds up meeting up an old team member at the end of the issue. Solid book. I know I keep saying, but it's a good book. This time it's not my bias of it being magic. This was just a good issue. A lot of fun, a lot of callback to the old school magic from the 80s. Art's great. I enjoyed it.
I will say this. I call this issue the weirdest conversation ever, because as soon as they had that conversation, it's like, I'm going to make you a deal you can't refuse. And it's like, she accepted it. So now her and her old teammate have a lot to talk about that she's not going to like to hear what she's got to say.
No, probably.
Well, it makes the next issue interesting if they go by the timeline. If they go by the timeline of what they agreed to, they could stretch it out to one or two issues. They could.
Of course, I have no idea where this is happening in continuity, because she's also currently corrupted, helping Spider-Man and also trying to fight Charles.
That is true. So yeah, no telling where it is in the book. You're right.
Moving on over to G.I. Joe number 5, written by Josh Williamson, art by Tom Riley, and colors by Jordi Belair. Long and short of it, the Joes fight Cobra. The Joes escape. Meanwhile, Cobra Commander is putting the fixing touches on his mind control device. They about killed Esther on this.
All I got to sit there and say is, I said this at the end of the last issue of G.I. Joe, Did Hawk really have a plan? And I'm going to say at the end of this issue, Hawk got extremely lucky.
Duke.
I'm sorry, Duke got extremely lucky. I'm sorry. Duke got extremely lucky with old boy just happened to be in the tank. That's all I'm saying. There is no way you call that.
He even says like, he may have been there.
That was the petty side. Like, how did you know he was there? I didn't.
I guess. Fun issue. Stuff keeps happening. I'm waiting for this to come back around to them dealing with the Transformers too.
Yeah.
Also, that poor Dreadnought. He has such horrible PTSD in this.
Pretty much, but it's kind of weird. They did get away from the Transformer story a little bit. I think they're going to come back to it because of what happened with Cobra.
Well, I mean, I know they are linked in because the source of all of Cobra's technology is Energon.
Yep.
So there is that. But I really want them to like start tracking down Starscream and the Combaticons.
That'd be cool. That would be cool to see. But you're right. That might actually come up because they are kind of getting away from Transformers. Although this was a great issue. Like I said, still seeing Duke go, I was right, but I was kind of right. But thank God I was right because I didn't know if I was right. But it was a good issue. I'll give it that.
And rounding out, we got Silverhawks #2 by Dynamite Comics. This is written by Ed Brisson, art by George Kambadalis, and colors by Ellie Wright. We get the origin story for Bluegrass, who, surprise, surprise, was in a band with Melodia. I'm saying these names like you guys that are young actually know what Silverhawks is.
Anybody
proud.
I was gonna say anybody that was born past anybody not born before 1992 may not know what Silverhawks is.
That's not my fault. We also get to see the origin story of the poorly named magician Hot Wings. I hate that so much. I really do.
That's the one thing about Silverhawks I can't forgive. You give one guy,
the only black guy in all of space, and his name is Hot Wings.
Hot Wings.
Meanwhile, Quicksilver is being trained by Condor, the Commander Stargazer. We do get to see Mumbo Jumbo in this issue. Again, I'm naming names. Nobody, half of our audience knows who they are. But great issue. I like that we're getting some origin stories. It fleshes out the characters a little more.
Yeah.
Especially Bluegrass, because he was just called Colonel Bluegrass, and it never got explained. So now we know the Colonel comes from his country music roots, not a military background.
Yeah.
Again, great artwork, great origin story. I wish they could give Hot Wings a different name.
We just can't get away from that. We just cannot get away from that. Just Jesus.
He's even like the worst part is he's like his armor isn't like bright orange because they have the Copper Kid, but it's like a muted orange.
Yep.
And they gave him elf ears.
Oh, it just keeps getting worse.
And he's got the Luke Cage headband that's centered around that jewel on his head.
Yeah, yeah.
Now, next issue, we are getting the Steel Twins, which was my favorite pair on the Silverhawks team. So I am looking forward to next time. But again, great issue, good artwork, solid story, fleshes out the characters a lot more. Mm-hmm. So I'm down for this issue.
Except the Hot Wings, but I
can't help that.
The Hot Wings thing still bothers me, but that's just me. But all right, I'm sorry, Joe. Was that all of? Was that your pull? Okay. All right. Well, thank you, Joe, for the pulls as always. As we wrap this up, to let everybody know what we're going with, I'm going to start first with the man, the myth, the legend, Tafari TV, sir. Will let people know what you're doing.
Potentially streaming tomorrow. Right, that's still a thing. Does that also work here too? Yep, there it is. Okay. Also streaming here as well. Trying to get my new base set up. Still handling post-con crunch from BlurredCon. Waiting for approvals to post certain footage, get access to it. If you watch the streams back, I did get it timestamped so everybody can find themselves. Invincible Skit is on the channel. I just did a review for Magazine Dreams. Anniversary video tomorrow. I have another unboxing I need to post soon. Other skits I'm working on, voice things I have also done, possibly come out tomorrow. I'm still waiting to hear back on that. Stay tuned. Doing a lot in a lot of places, and you'll see.
All right. Okay, Joe, we'll let people know what you're up to, sir.
If work will give me a break, I'll stream some Metal Bringer and some Nick Warrior Plans until Ghostbird comes out. And that's only if work gives me a baby.
Hello, Joe. You sound underwater for a second.
No, that's just me in general.
There you go. Now you sound better.
Good.
I said I will be streaming Metal Bringer if work gives me some breathing room. I will also try and stream some more MechWarrior Clans as kind of like a lead into Ghost Bear.
Uh-huh.
But that's like only if work will chill out and let me like have some downtime.
Oh yeah, that's what I say. You're in the middle of that season. I understand.
Yep. So yeah. So not too much is happening. Cons are starting up. I know I'll be at MTAC. I think there's like a con happening, I want to say like right now or next week, but I'm not driving to Clarksville for that. So, yep, I'll probably be at MTAC. I know I'll be at Nashville Comic Con in June. Other than that, just chilling out playing games.
Gotcha. Cool. All right. Well, again, guys, I apologize. I know for the better part of this podcast, I was pretty much the banker from Deal or No Deal. Hopefully, we'll get this fixed. We go back to StreamYard next week. I'm hoping. But before I get to myself, some shameless plugging as always. Shout out to APR TV. Always press record. Why? Because our show shows up on their networks. You can definitely watch APR TV on Roku or Amazon Fire TV. Definitely give it a watch as their content and viewership goes back to us as it should be. Also, check out BlurredStation.com. Again, BlurredStation also had a BlurredCon stream at BlurredCon. You can definitely check it out on the BlurredCon YouTube channel, as you'll see Tafari and others that were also there. But for BlurredStation.com, again, it is the vehicle table that we always ask for our content, our viewership, most importantly, our dollars should be going to. If you want to check out BlurredStation.com, hit the Join Now button, select the Blurred's Eye View Affinity membership, select any member there. It is $10.99 a month to stream BlurredStation. $10.99 a month. You cannot beat that with a stick. After 36 months, guys, you do get the ability to own a piece of BlurredStation, and it does not get any easier to own a bit of a network such as that. As for myself, guys, you can find us at the Get Bit Podcast on all socials, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. You can find my own personal page, Black_Spartan615 on all socials. The podcast can be seen wherever podcasts can be seen or heard. At the same time, guys, like, share, and subscribe to everything that we do because we simply cannot do this without you. Cons are still going on, as you heard from Tafari and Joe. The rules still apply, guys, and the rules can also be seen on Tafari TV's page, as he now has 5 videos about going to the con now. Or am I wrong?
So how many what now?
Was it 5 or 4 videos about the con experiences you got up right now, Tafari?
I think I'm down to my last one, actually. Hold on. Let's see. Playlist. Yeah, I think I may be actually done with this series.
It's a very fun series. I'm sorry?
I was like, it's one long video, but I just broke it up into parts. But actually, because I know I scheduled it. Yeah, so my last one goes up April 1st. And the playlist is... Come on, where you at? Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, we have 10 parts right now.
Cool. So it's a 10-part series. I highly recommend that you watch it because part of my rules are pretty much also within that 10-part series. Respect the cosplayer at all times. Cosplaying is not consent. Please treat people like human beings. Please do not treat them like objects of affection. Please do not be cringy. Why? Because it runs to guys like me that'll throw you out of the con. Number 2, hygiene is important. Please wash your ass. It's more important now that I have kids, and my kids are like little petri dishes, which means if they get sick, I get sick. And the way that we can combat this, guys, is to wash ourselves, wear clean clothes. Hygiene is important, because if I find out that you got my kids sick and they eventually got me getting sick, then I'm going to come back and whoop your ass. And the third rules I have for myself is I have for everybody else in a world that is cold. And right now it is very, very freaking cold. Be nice, be kind, share, and talk about your fandoms. Don't be a dick, and we'll all be cool. At the same time, guys, protect your peace, check on your folks, do something that makes you happy or makes you smile. And if you have the ability to make somebody else happy or make them smile, do that. The world could use a lot more of it. But hopefully we'll be back here, guys, next Friday, same Get Bit time, same Get Bit channel. Fellas, any last words we call tonight?
Check out the Looney Tunes. Also, Snow White is out. I can give you the Hideo Kojima review. I saw.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Tamar.
No, that's it.
That threw me off when you said Hideo Kojima review. Damn.
Yeah, that's what he said. I saw Snow White.
I know. It's just. The moment he said, I didn't mean to laugh and cut him off. But that being said, guys, as you can tell, everybody's smiling, including me. But you really can't tell. But that being said, he's been Tafari. He's been Joe. I've been Will. This has been the Give It Podcast for tonight, guys. Thank you all for watching. Please take care of yourselves and each other. I promise we'll get through this. Peace.